right, we are live, so I'm just going to switch to the PowerPoint, and then whenever you all are ready, feel free to start.
Okay. Good evening. This is a meeting of the Albany City Planning Board. It's the Planning Board workshop, and we're here, Johnson Board. Anyone who is tuned in through our Zoom connection. The purpose of the workshop is for the members of the planning board to work with the city staff to review any new cases that might become before us, and to review other cases that we may have seen but may have changed or have moved forward. There's no discussion or testimony from the public. That opportunity will occur when we have our next planning board meeting in late August. So we'll start with the first item, which is 163 Clinton Avenue, home leasing. This is a project that we approved, and they're simply looking for an extension due to, I believe, funding.
Great, thanks, Al. So just for clarification on the screen, the zoning district is residential townhouse. Apologies for that issue. And then just to give a little bit of quick background, the applicants did receive approval last year, but that approval expired. So they are resubmitting essentially the same application. So in a lot of ways, this is functionally like an extension, but the original approval did expire. I'm going to go through this quickly since you've all seen it, but feel free to stop me if you have any questions. This is the exterior of the property. It's at the corner of Clinton Avenue and South Swan Street. Here's the proposed site plan. The applicant is applying for a conditional use permit and has received a major certificate of appropriateness from the Historic Resources Commission. And is also, this project is also being reviewed under minor development plan review, which is an administrative review by city departments, just to make sure that all utilities and all other issues are being addressed. So as you can see from the landscaping sheet from the site plan, they are proposing to plant 3 new trees in the streetscape and also provide side and rear lot line landscaping, since the landscaping section of the code does require screening for multifamily structures that are adjacent to townhouse structures. So I'll go quickly through the floor plans. This is the basement. They are proposing to install ADA access, as you can see on the right-hand side, and there is also a proposed unit on this floor. And this is also where the elevator will be located for the building. As we move through the first through third floor plans, there are 4 units on each floor. There's a combination of 1 and 2 bedroom units, with the first floor having an even, actually 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, and 1 studio. And then for the second and third floor plans, it's all 1 bedroom units. And here's just the unit matrix again, just showing the breakdown of units. Again, there's a total of 2 studios, 9 1 bedrooms, and 2 2-bedroom units. So this was previously approved on June 22nd of last year. And I had mentioned the next 2 points. They're not required to provide off-street parking, but as mentioned, last month's meeting for the application at 255 to 271 Clinton Avenue, the applicant has offered to allow residents of this development to park at that site if they do need parking or have difficulty finding parking. Based on data that they've seen, approximately 60% of their tenants own a car, so it's going to be a slightly lower percentage of car owners for this development as compared to other multifamily developments.
You say 60%?
Yep.
Okay.
Is this a possibility to be placed on a consent agenda?
So it does require a public hearing since it's a conditional use permit. That will require, the opportunity for members of the public to speak.
Even though we approved it, and it's just a matter of extension. And there's no changes.
Yeah, so unfortunately, since the approval expired, it needs to be treated like a new review of the application.
All right, the next one is a newer project, and is a temporary building at the Albany Leadership Charter School for girls on Hackett Boulevard.
Great, thanks, Al. So just, I'm going to clarify this in the next few slides as well, but the proposed trailer will be sited at 23 Hackett Boulevard, but is for the use of the charter school at 19 Hackett Boulevard. But it's located right near the side lot line. Here is the front elevation of both properties. So it'll be located in the center, kind of behind where that tree is located. So here's clarification just showing on the site plan where 19 is and where 23 is. As you can see on the next slide, the location of the trailer is on 23 Hackett Boulevard. I'm going to zoom in. So they are proposing to install a trailer and provide an ADA ramp, and then also install a new crosswalk across the parking lot at 19 Hackett Boulevard. So this is why it's being billed as 19 and 23 Hackett Boulevard. Here's the floor plan for the classrooms. So the trailer itself will include 2 classrooms with some central office and bathrooms for students. The school is anticipating that a maximum of 64 students would use it, and a maximum of 4 teachers would be sited in these classrooms. And then here are elevations for the trailers. They'll be delivered in sections and then assembled on site, but it's a relatively short process to install it because I think it's all prefabricated on the inside and just connected once it's at the site.
You said there's, I guess I missed it, 2 trailers?
No, it's just a 1 trailer, but it has 2 classrooms.
Define trailer.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think we technically have a definition for trailer within the zoning code.
So it's modular construction is what they're talking about?
Yeah, it's modular construction that's just, again, going to be temporarily sited here. So we don't have a process right now to provide temporary approvals for structures. So it has to go through the same process as if it was going to be a permanent structure.
Okay, would this be built on a slab?
I think it's going to be built on kind of piers, if I remember correctly. So it'll be kind of attached at each of the 4 corners of the trailer temporarily.
Has the applicant indicated how temporary these are? Because temporary buildings tend to live beyond their temporariness.
Yeah.
There's one at the college, Sage College, off of Helderberg, that was supposed to be temporary and removed about 10 years ago. It's still there. Is the school looking to do an addition or renovate classrooms within the school to accommodate this? You know?
Yeah, so the applicant has said that they're anticipating this would just be used for a year. The applicants are also going through the Board of Zoning Appeals for 3 area variances, which I think, based on the discussion for that, the intended goal is that those variances would expire after a certain time frame, likely probably 2 years, just so that there's not an immediate difficulty in reapplying after a year. But the intended goal is to, make these temporary approvals, even though it has to go through the same process as permanent structures would go through.
Well, I would like to make sure that the applicant or its representative, and I think its representative's father listening in on Zoom, give us an indication as to what the future plans are for these temporary buildings.
Yeah, so they are leasing them from the company that fabricates them, so they will, lease them for the year, and then I think, based on whether there's a need or not, they would either extend or not extend that lease. The applicant has signed an agreement with the church to use part of their parking lot to site the modular classroom for the year. Whether they choose to extend is kind of up to them, but there likely is an ability if, the planning board wants to consider certain conditions that are time limited for the application, as well as the Board of Zoning Appeals, if that's something of interest or concern for this application.
Any other questions?
See, that would be for this fall, right?
That's what you're asking, so we're hearing, listening in.
Okay. It's for this fall, right?
Yeah, it would be for this fall.
Also for the next.
Yes, I'm gonna, the majority of the rest of the items on here are pending items, and I'm just gonna breeze through these relatively quickly. For most of these items, that comment functionally addresses everything. So moving forward, so I'm just going to provide quick updates for the first three that I'm talking about, which is 25 Delaware Avenue, 191 North Pearl Street, and 66 State Street. They will be in a position for the board to act at the meeting on the 24th. There are still very minor things that the applicants are working on with departments, but these will be in a position for the board to act. So I'll follow up with you all if you have any additional questions or any comments prior to the meeting, but these should be fairly straightforward. And then for 91 Clinton Street, the applicant did meet with the neighborhood associations, and based on an email I got today, I think the concern from a lot of the community members was that with the zoning change, this would allow anyone to apply to construct something commercial when they don't have ownership or the authority to submit an application. So I did let the applicant and neighborhood associations know that for any application where there's new construction or a new proposed use on a site, that it does require the approval and signature of the current property owner or owners. I did also reach out today to the Division of Engineering just to get some clarification on the proposed ADA ramp and whether that would comply with city standards. I'm thinking it likely will not, because it does not provide 5 feet of unobstructed sidewalk clearance. So I think the applicant has mentioned this too, that they will likely have to switch to an elevator lift in order to provide ADA access, but they are kind of aware of that, but I'm just reaching out to the Division of Engineering just to confirm that before the application moves forward.
Is this in a historic district? And then if it is, how does that relate to being ADA compliant?
Yeah, so it is located in a historic district. When you are located in a historic district, there are certain exemptions from particular elements of the ADA and building code that do occur. This applicant does want to provide ADA access, so modifications would need to meet historic district standards. For something like an elevator lift, there's not really, as long as it's not impacting any existing features or elements of a building, there's not going to be an issue with that being located within the public right of way because it's a means of ingress and egress. So, you know, the applicant does need to go to receive certificates of appropriateness for any external modifications made at the site, which I think they are proposing to replace some windows in kind. So I think those are likely minor certificates of appropriateness. You know, for the other properties at 93 and 95 Clinton, they are anticipating to construct new buildings at those sites, which that would require a major certificate of appropriateness.
Are any of the other three, like you said, are pretty straightforward? Can they be considered consent agenda?
Yeah, I would recommend those being on consent agenda. You know, we have received some more comments for 25 Delaware Avenue. So that might be the one application that I might consider just leaving off, just to wait and see how, if anyone signs up to speak prior to the meeting. But if they don't sign up to speak prior to the meeting, then, you know, the board is always able to move that to the consent agenda at the beginning of the meeting.
And 191 has gotten all of its approvals.
There's just some minor things with the Department of General Services that it's trying to align, but the applicant has addressed the majority of those.
And I assume you will tell the applicants that we may be considering this on the consent agenda and that they can, again, as we have mentioned before, tune in on Zoom.
Yep, I will make sure to relay that again.
Any other questions? One item of housekeeping on August 24th, I will not be able to attend the meeting.
Either.
And you won't either.
None of us will be here since you can't make it. Right.
So, and I believe that I'm not going to be here. Is there another day within that week that's possible? I don't want to wait until September. That would be. Or later.
I think as it stands, I'm okay. Just required things. We have to go in there. It would have to.
But
Either I'm amenable. We need to move it to another day in that week. I'm okay with it.
Brad just wanted to remind me, and I think I haven't let you all know, we are having some consultants come in during that day to view our board meetings, just to look at our general procedures and see any ways that we can improve our processes going forward.
24th?
Yes.
Yeah, but we don't have a quorum. I mean, I'm not going to be here. Martin's not going to be here.
I'll be here. I was just saying I wasn't coming because you were.
I will not be here.
Oh, okay. So then we do. Okay.
So your consultants need to change the date, if we can change the date.
Okay. So I think we should probably just look at the calendar now so we can just agree upon that. So for, is there availability on that Thursday? Okay.
I'm done for the week.
Yeah, oh my. But open the week beforehand.
You need to come back for the meeting.
We can join my,
31st.
Okay, so neither Vanessa or Martin are here for that whole week.
Okay.
Is that, what about the week after?
I'm here.
The 30th is Monday is a possibility. I mean, there's.
I would recommend the 30th, just,
I won't be back until Wednesday.
okay.
Sorry.
Do we have at least 3 people for the 30th?
I'm good for the 30th.
yeah, so am I.
Martin, okay, so we have at least 4.
Okay, so I will reschedule that for the 30th. 6 p.m. still work for everyone?
That's a Monday.
Yes.
That's garbage night. I want to go to work. Come here, then do garbage.
Well, you get all your garbage out of the way at the beginning of the week, and then you're free to do other fun stuff. Oh, no. Okay, well, thank you everyone for letting me know ahead of time. This really helps. And is everyone going to be able to, who is able to attend on the 30th, are they going to be able to attend here, or does anyone need to attend from home? Just because if you're going to attend from home, I need to notice your address if you are planning to attend virtually.
Right now, here.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, anything else to come before the board? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.